All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in November 20th, 2019, and I'm going to buy these 3 stocks tomorrow, but they're option plays. So I have 3 different trades I want to look at. They kind of all fall into nature with some of the stuff we've been talking about and kind of even switching to some of these spreads. I want to go over them, watch these plays tomorrow. If they don't really set up kind of how I'm expecting, I'm not going to do them, but if I do, see what I like, I'm going to go after them. And even if we don't, those are going to be some to watch tomorrow. So I'm going to go over that, talk a little bit about what happened today. I am expecting some sort of news based on kind of the news we've saw today and what's been going back and forth. And then again, we have more potential plays to go over. And then I'm going to talk about the ghetto spread again. Telling you guys, the ghetto spread has been a hit. Some of you guys have been loving it. Some people have been hating it. Some people they understand how it works. They're seeing the opportunity. They're loving it. Some people are just like, I want to buy a ghetto spread. I think I'm going to just do it. However, I think it'll fall into place. That's not how it's going to work. So I want to cover it a little bit and just give you guys a little bit more tips and show you it. We had the opportunity to do it on another play today, but we didn't, even on some of the past earnings. So we'll see. But yes, let's get into it. You guys know what you need to do, though. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and we better see you in the morning tomorrow. We are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the descriptions. It's pinned in the comments. Anything we're doing here, it is all done live. You guys could come. It doesn't matter if you have the same strategy as me, because there is an awesome chat room. Shout out to chat, baby. We can source information, post it there. It's all love, man. All we hope is that you're able to take something away from it so that you could hopefully contribute back to it. It's like the giving tree. It's like, I don't know. But we had a lot of fun today. It was a pretty slow day even here with the market, but I hope to see you guys there tomorrow. But wait, I can't get ahead of myself too. We can't forget the most important thing you need to do. Post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. Post your plays. Let's start sourcing the information now. Whatever you're looking at, post earnings that still haven't reported. You guys can let us know if there's any main ones. We actually saw some surprisingly big earnings, but there you go. We got that out the way. Let us continue. So before I get into kind of the plays and looking at what it is exactly I want to do, let's start with kind of the basics of today. Today was one of the first days we actually kind of closed red, but we still opened up at all-time highs and came down. It wasn't that bad. There was a lot of support, a lot of weird volume throughout the day. It definitely caught my attention. But the key I'm looking for here is that all the signs of escalation are there. Trump today said he will raise tariffs higher if there's no deal. Last time, I don't know if you guys remember, I did something like this. I kind of even wanted to just title it that there's going to be trade news or something, just because last time we did it, we saw something. But it was starting to play out like this, where it's kind of back and forth, where a few days are less of the positive reinforcement. I feel like that's what they've been doing every day. Like, yeah, good job, positive. It's going to be, there's going to be a deal, there's going to be a deal. And when you start not hearing some of this stuff and you kind of hear it start to get a little bit more negative, be on the lookout for some negative developments with the trade war. So that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye out for. But again, the market has showed a strong level of resilience. So we're waiting here to see once kind of the earnings and the buybacks start to cool down, what really happens. And I said yesterday, we only got about 40 trading days, or less than 40 trading days in the year. So that's going to be interesting. But watch out for that. And then lastly, I said low-key government shutdown, gray swan potential. They are still working on this government shutdown stuff to just fund the government through December. Anytime this stuff comes out, I always have to look at it, because if it did ever escalate and there was another point of contention or disagreement between the government mixed with all the other political stuff we have, that is not going to be good. So the government shutdown isn't good. Seems like they usually have it under control, because that situation gets out of hand. It negatively affects both sides, Republicans, Democrats. It doesn't matter who you are. So most people agree with it, and we call it a gray swan, because a gray swan isn't like a black swan, which is an unexpected event that hits the markets. It was at one point it was an unexpected event. I'm sure I gotta spell check that for you guys. Probably bothering some of y'all. I'm sorry, the code loves it. But a gray swan is an event that was a black swan at one point. It didn't occur, and it kind of was this surprise event. Then it came back to normal, but now it's still, the risks still exist under the service, and it's something like some people already know about, but could still end up actually surprising for the negative. So watch out for that. And then lastly now, the ghetto spreads, baby. I want to talk about this a little bit before we talk into the play. I honestly think the reaction is hilarious. Like, legitimately, we're pissing people off with the ghetto spreads, you guys. I love it. So I have to press forward and let y'all know we established the ghetto spread 2019. We came up with it. Y'all could call it legging into a vertical. Y'all could call it whatever you want, man. All I'm saying is it's genius. Gets the people going. No, but in all honesty, the Ghetto Spreads, you can call it whatever you want. The idea here is making it work for yourself, though. And this is a problem we saw today. And this is something, you know, we've been talking about this. It's a cool strategy to know, but there's a few problems. So here it is. It's not something you just do. It's that's what people are like, I'm going to open a Ghetto Spread. No, you could open a credit spread. You could open a debit spread. But it's usually a response. And how we've been using it is using it when we're up a lot on a play. So when you're up more so, usually yesterday we did it when we were up 100% on Roku. The last week we did it when we were up 2,000% on Disney. It is what you do with the play. So you can't, so if you're setting out to say, hey, we're going to make a Ghetto Spread, you buy an option, you literally need to buy it and it needs to go up in value. So that's what you got to be careful for. It's a response. And now this is what we saw today. I wanted that opportunity with some of the Starbucks, but the key is just because you can Ghetto Spread, it doesn't mean you Ghetto Spread. This is all up to you because every Ghetto Spread you do, it's offering you money up front, which is going to be your max gain or the most you'll walk away with, or the least amount you'll walk away with. And then it also offers a top end. Depending on the play and where it's at now, you have to think about those and where that applies for you guys too. And you have to understand too, option trading is extremely risky. It's all Thomas financial investment. Please consult with financial advisor. This is educational purpose only. But this is where you tailor this to you and what you want. Say, I want more gains. I want more money up front. That's going to be the difference deciding what contract you sell. But this is also my favorite point here. Just because you can do the Ghetto Spread doesn't mean you do it. Just because you buy a contract and it goes up in value and then you could sell another contract for the exact same price you do, that's not the instant point where it's like, okay, boom, it meets that. It's not like that cookie cutter. Just because the play goes up 100% doesn't mean you did do that. And we did that on a target play. We were up on it today, but it didn't. And I was up 30-40%. And I could have sold another contract for more, and I should have probably, even on Boeing as well, too. There's some points when you look back, maybe you should have done the Ghetto Spread, but just because it hits a thing, it doesn't mean you always do it. So hopefully that clarifies it a little bit. I want to get you guys a little bit more on game, but let us get into the play. So I have 3 stocks that I want to be looking at, or 3 option plays. Again, like I said, option trading is extremely risky. You know, you got the disclaimer. These are plays I'm not in. I'm looking at them. People have brought these up today, and I'm sharing them with you guys so you guys could see my logic behind them and learn from them, showing you what I'm doing. And again, as always, come on stream. You could watch it on stream. You can see this happen, but you want to see when it's executed. That's why we got the stream alerts, aka your stream insurance. You guys get how it is. So hopefully you're there to watch it. I don't know when I'm going to execute this. Again, my keys are look for pricing in the morning and at close, and then there is stuff even during the day, like even if you watch me play the target. But the first play I'm looking at is a McDonald's. Now, I wanted to do an iron condor on this just because, again, McDonald's is at a crucial level. There's a few main points. One, it could go up if the market comes down and people rotate into McDonald's, because that's what kind of it's showing here, is that it's already dropped so much. Maybe the market likes that, or if the market comes down here, it could drop with it, or it's going to need to bounce. But it clearly hasn't been bouncing with the market doing good. And then if it stays the same and in this range, you can make money. So I kind of want to make 2 plays. You could either sell the further out the money plays on it, collect some easy premium when you could sell it on both calls or puts, and literally play the range between 190 and 197 or even 200. You may not make that much with the play. I was looking at next week, sell the 190, buy the 192. You'd make about like $180, and then or I think like 190, a little bit more. So it's like a $60 risk on the credit spread, but you would need it to go below 190, which is about 2 standard deviations. It's still a pretty big move, but if you want it, you could do like an iron condor, but any of the iron condors that play both sides, you know, kind of equally, you're only going to walk away with $1 credit. And then if you try to make it in the money, it's not worth selling the other side. So that's the first play on McDonald's. That's the first one I'm going to be watching. The next play I want that I'm looking at potentially tomorrow, Home Depot. These went crazy this morning. So this is going to be a weekly. Again, very risky. If you guys aren't familiar with the weeklies, we got some videos on it, but be careful with it. Definitely paper trade this stuff so you could get used to it. But this morning, these are pretty expensive. They were cheap at first. They went from like 10, 12 cents to 60 cents. They're coming down, but these are how frogs are formed, baby. Some of you guys ask, where do frogs come from? Well, when a long stock meets a theta, and then they do a move, and then it stays here, you know, something happens. But literally, it was all over the place for Home Depot. This was pre-market. It came up, and then it dropped. But then all throughout the day, it went up and down, and then it kind of leveled out here. You could see what happened with the contracts. At one point, they were expensive, but as the stopped moving in that direction, the option got cheap. So that is that opportunity. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. I want to look at these 220s if these could come down to like 10, 15 cents again. And again, even if this play doesn't open up the doors tomorrow, wait till Wednesday and wait for this to keep occurring where the stock could keep moving down, but we wait and wait. But then this is going to be a continuation on Home Depot. I lost my chart, but it's already moved a decent amount. This is the most it's already moved in general. And like, I think since 2008 off of a single earnings move, and even their guidance was awful. So watch Home Depot, watch how this sets up. Again, we even saw McDonald's after their earnings. So you could even see that volume on there. That's big volume. It's the most in a few years. But Home Depot has been pretty resilient at times, so we'll see. And again, man, if this isn't looking like 2017, I don't know what does. But watch Home Depot, and then the last play is the targets, and then we made these plays today. So this was the earnings plan. Really what I want to watch for them is I want to see how they report in the morning. They were pricing in more for the calls than the puts, but watch them for a continuation and see what happens. We came in holding the 123 calls and then the 98 puts, not for November 22nd, but November 29th. And now here are the plays. And then we'll also, another honorary mention for a stock I'm going to be watching of ours, Boeing. They got negative news. We'll cover that. But this is even what I was talking about with the ghetto spread and what could happen. These were the only trades we made this morning, and then we were looking at the timing. But I bought 5 of the 122 calls, and then I bought 1 of the puts. And now this strategy and what I was doing is pretty much flipping the IV into earnings since they report tomorrow morning. I was asking you guys in the morning, I even told you to post these at your watch list and let me know what was up. And in the morning, both sides were down, and I kept the option chain up, and I was looking at it. And at one point, you know, Target was doing its whole thing, and even as the stock was dropping, the options started going down, but then everything started leveling out. So my plan was buy 5 of these, buy 1 of the puts. I bought those at a different time. I wanted to let the prices level out, and my hope was Target would go up in value and get an IV run up back again, and I could hopefully make both on the calls and puts. It didn't execute as well as I thought. We bought them at 62. It went up into close. You can see 4 minutes before close there. We sold at 67. I made like $20, and then I sold 4 of the 5, so I just held 1. Pretty much paid like $110 on both earnings, so it wasn't too bad, but I'm going to be watching them for continuation. Again, I want to see what the IV does, but there's a lot of option selections. It was pricing in a lot of upside, and we've seen some of these other plays, so this will be one of the best continuations as far as kind of earnings would go. But I'm even tied and contemplated on that play with Boeing, and you guys can see here now I made 2 plays. I put like $130 on weeklies. This is the one in both of these. I could have done a good ghetto spread on the Boeings because I could have walked away on this 81. I got 1 November 22nd 350 put for $80, and then I got the 340 for 53. Did not get a good fill on this one, and this one was kind of getting jumpy. But at one point during all of this, they started dropping, and they started dropping on the NTSB news that they need to redesign one of their planes. So that was interesting to see, but it looked like it could have been a downside move there. But then the volume pretty much subsided, and that was the key. It's interesting to see the volume there at close, but one thing I pointed out, since we're back up at higher levels now, you're going to start seeing some bigger moves with Boeing versus when we're at these lower levels, because there's a lot more room to move with and giving more space, whereas here, you know, the range and expected value of the stock is a lot more defined. But I'm giving Boeing my honorary mention as the play because if this develops, we'll see. At this point, I would just make it a ghetto spread, and I should have, because this one was at $80. I could have sold the 345 put at one point for like $80 or $90, made like a decent portion and had a $5 gain, but we didn't, got greedy, and we lost. And even the target in the mornings at one point, these went up 30%, and I could have capped my gain at like, I think 1,000 because I had 5 contracts, but ended up not going through with it. But we ended up not taking it, waiting a little bit, and then once the prices changes, or in this case, you know, Boeing bounced, your opportunity's gone. But again, doesn't mean you always do the ghetto spread. But those are the plays. Those are the ones I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Those are the ones we even made today. So good luck to everybody on the earnings. We will see what happens. But as far as that, watch the target, watch the HDs, watch Urban. This could be a continuation play, and people even ask like L brands and stuff to watch like that. I even think I have that up here because I think they're going to be decent. I don't know if they had their earnings today, but in general, some of these stocks, these bigger brand name stocks, could be good and with earnings. But at the end of the day, you know, if you went like $4 out the money on Urban, we'll see what that is. Like, you could have got like the 25s for 40. You would really only be like $1 in the money barely. The key is, you know, the key is, and like we've made with a lot of these plays, you're getting some of these stocks, but if you get a cheap call or put and then it goes in the money, you're usually making money on the move. But when the stock floor is already so close, you know, even if you got this right at the money, you got $6 of intrinsic value. So your 29 contract would have pretty much been up like 300%. So keep that in mind, but we'll watch Urban. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow. I'm going to be watching Boeing. Those are going to be good. And then Walmart, that play is still on from yesterday. Walmart kind of didn't do much, but this is kind of good in a way too. We've seen this, that first one day up and then 3 days down. You see how it's kind of holding up. This is what Disney did. This is what Qualcomm did. I'm going to be watching Walmart coming into tomorrow. The same exact play. If it got cheaper, the goal is get it at that price we talked about yesterday. Or I'm going to try to snake up the chain and get something closer to the money. Then NVIDIA, I still have that Iron Condor, and that thing's up 300 now. Remember, my downside is I needed to stay above 205, and then I needed to stay below 212. So that's right in the range. I'm up 30%. I want to give it kind of one more day here, and if it stays in there, but I do want to get ready to cut that play soon. I'm kind of feeling I should have cut it now, but that one has a max gain of like $1,000, and I'm up like 350 on it, so we'll see. But watch the video in general too. Watch all the other chip makers, and then Expedia. They broke below 95 real quick. They went down to 93. This is a crucial level. Watch them for continuation and see what they do, but I'm gonna keep my eyes on them. L Brands, and then McDonald's. That's going to be one of the major plays. And then UNH, they went up. They didn't do much, and now this is where the contracts start going to normal, because you guys saw UNH. UNH could go crazy. It could do a lot. This is what I was saying yesterday. It could shoot up literally $15 in a day, and it wants to. But for the most part, it'll move 50 cents surprisingly, and this is where, or this is even what's causing the contracts to do what they do, why the contracts would be so cheap to begin with. Because the market's not expecting a big news, but when it starts to move, it'll get really expensive, but then you could end up spending a lot of money on something pretty much worthless. So watch them. Watch AMD. They killed it today. So I want to watch what they do, but again, properly chasing them, if anything. Just wait till the contracts come in the favor. We could get some more of the broader news with the chips. Then Roku, they surprised. They actually ended up selling more shares. I think it was a secondary offering. That's what brought it down, but it's still above 153. It's at 153, but it's above that 146, 148, which is a crucial mark. So watch tomorrow to see if the downtrend kind of sets in and it breaks this up streak. But if it starts to bounce up again, they could start to get pretty nasty. And then AMAC, like them, I should have ghetto spreaded this. Otherwise, we're still holding those 63s that expired this week from the earnings, and those are not looking good. They were up a lot as they were going up in the morning, and like I said, sometimes you only have that first segment in the morning. It's literally what we said yesterday, so got to be careful with that. We'll watch that tomorrow. And then lastly, Disney, the ghetto spread is working very, very good on this one. So remember, we got the 146, so in this case, we're in the money, $2.38. We sold the other contract, the 155. It's nowhere near 155, so that contract's lost a lot of its value. So now, pretty much every dollar up until 155, we make money. And some people have asked, what's the max gain on a ghetto spread? You make the most money on a ghetto spread if by expiration, the stock closes at literally exactly the same price that you sold the strike at. So in this case, my max gain is at 155, because if it goes to 155, I'll get all the intrinsic value between 156 and 155, $900. And then if it closes at 155, not a penny more, that contract will expire worthless, and I collect the premium and get the premium as well as the intrinsic value. But watch Disney. They held up again. We'll see if we get any updates from, I think they released in like Australia and other places, so that'll be interesting to see. But watch them. And then lastly, Qualcomm got killed. Apple actually went down today with that, and I would look out for them. But in general, too, watch out some of these other plays. Watch Shopify and some of these growth stocks. Shopify gave up a lot. I'm going to keep an eye out for them. They were supposed to kind of break out for us. Starbucks now, with all the restaurants, again, all the earnings and everything, they're still kind of low here. And this is what I'm scared McDonald's might do, where it kind of stays low and hangs out low, and you could get killed on theta. That's why selling premium is kind of the move there. But watch out for them. And just in general, of all these like restaurant food stocks, they've been moving interesting, so I want to keep my eye out for them. Not forget, like you said, I'm gonna watch Uber as well too for the long term. Again, any of these stocks, you guys can see I'm interested when the stocks hang out at these lower levels. L Brands actually looked like that, so it sets up an opportunity there. I'm going to watch them, but then also watch Snapchat. They went up a lot today. You know, they helped out the long-term portfolio. A few days ago, we were like, okay, if it drops, you know, that'll be our chance to buy more, but it's at an interesting spot. So I'm going to keep my eyes out for those, but you should too, because that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. I'm going to see you in the morning. Post your watch list. Call out the plays. Be respectful. Be positive. Just show love. Even if they don't show love, just be nice to them. God bless all of you. I love you all, man. We're going to have some fun tomorrow. It's been a good day. It's a good week. Remember, we can't forget, don't let the momentum fool you. We still got to hit post 7 weeks after Magic Hat track it. You know, what's it called? The Magic, or they call it the hat trick. All right, you get it, man. I'm going to leave it there. I love you, baby. I'll see you in the morning. Let's go.